Neymar da Silva Santos Jr., a name that carried weight long before Europe ever saw him play. Built on expectation, brilliance, and flair, he rose from the streets of Brazil, dazzled Barcelona, reshaped Paris, and carried a country on his back every 4 years. His talent was undeniable, his flair unmatched, and his potential limitless. And yet, after everything, one question remains. How does someone so gifted, so adored, never become the king the world expected? This is the story of Neymar, the prince who never became king. Neymar's story began far from glamour, in the streets of Mogi das Cruzes, where football was more than a game. It was life. Even after surviving a serious childhood accident, he returned to the pitch fearless, moving with a natural rhythm and confidence that few could match. His father guided him, his mother protected him, but it was the streets that first recognized his gift, a boy who was already extraordinary. When Santos discovered him, everything accelerated. Neymar entered the academy carrying the rawness of street football, but the instincts of a superstar.
Pediu pra mim assinar e falou que jogo muito bem. Muito bom dando autógrafo logo cedo e tomara que eu dou mais autógrafos daqui pra frente.
But the instincts of a superstar. As a teenager breaking into the first team, he didn't just play, he transformed the club. Every match felt alive with possibility. His dribbles, flicks, and goals weren't just skills, they were statements, reminders of a time when Brazilian football was pure artistry. In a country that worships creativity, Neymar became the new idol. But fame and pressure came fast. Brazil had been waiting for a new phenomenon since Ronaldo and Ronaldinho, and Neymar arrived carrying that weight before he could fully grow into it. The media crowned him early. Fans demanded magic every week. Critics expected maturity he hadn't yet developed. Yet he delivered, winning the Libertadores, scoring goals that left the world in awe, and becoming Brazil's symbol of hope. Still, Santos was becoming too small for him. Defenders struggled to contain him, leagues couldn't challenge him, and Brazil couldn't hold him forever. The move to Europe was inevitable. The world doesn't let brilliance stay local. Brazil knew it. Santos knew it. Neymar knew it. The only question was where he would take his magic next, and in the end, he didn't just choose a club, he chose a kingdom. Barcelona. Neymar arrived at Barcelona in 2013, stepping into a world where legends already walked the pitch. Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, and Dani Alves had already shaped football's DNA, and Neymar had to prove he belonged among them. At first, doubts lingered. He was young, slight, flashy. The critics questioned whether he could handle the weight of the Blaugrana shirt. But Neymar adapted quickly, learning to balance his flair with the discipline and timing that elite football demanded. Soon, he formed a partnership that would become legendary. Alongside Messi and later Luis Suarez, Neymar became part of MSN, one of the most dangerous attacking trios the game had ever seen. Each player brought something unique: Messi's genius, Suarez's hunger, and Neymar's unpredictable spark. Together, they tore defenses apart, scored spectacular goals, and dominated competitions. Neymar was no longer just a teenager with potential. He was a world-class forward, capable of turning matches with a single moment of brilliance. 2015 was a defining year. Neymar played a pivotal role in Barcelona's treble-winning season, but one moment stands above all: the incredible comeback against PSG in the Champions League. Down 4-0 from the first leg, Barcelona overturned the deficit, and Neymar was the main man orchestrating the miracle. His vision, creativity, and audacity made the impossible possible. Many argued that year could have been his Ballon d'Or season if not for Messi's continued dominance. It was a moment that showcased Neymar at his peak, fearless, brilliant, and unstoppable. Yet even in glory, there was a shadow. Barcelona was Messi's kingdom, and Neymar, no matter how dazzling, existed partly in that shadow. He was adored, celebrated, but he longed for his own empire, his own crown, a place where he could rule without comparison. The city of Barcelona gave him trophies, fame, and recognition, but it could not give him the independence he craved. And so, after years of brilliance, the decision came to leave the palace and seek a kingdom of his own. Paris awaited. In 2017, Neymar made the world's most expensive transfer, joining Paris Saint-Germain and stepping into a kingdom of his own. In Barcelona, he had shared the spotlight. In Paris, he was meant to rule. From the start, he dazzled, scoring goals, creating chances, and lifting PSG to domestic dominance while carrying the hopes of a club desperate for European glory. But brilliance came with challenges. Injuries struck at the worst moments, forcing him to miss crucial matches and breaking momentum just when it was needed most. And then came Kylian Mbappé, the young prodigy whose speed, goals, and rising stardom shifted the spotlight. Neymar, once unquestionably the face of PSG, now had to share it, and the throne he had imagined felt just out of reach. Beyond injuries and competition, the weight of expectation loomed large. He carried the hopes of Brazil, the ambitions of PSG, and the legacy of a career built under constant scrutiny. Every failed Champions League run, every injury, every moment where brilliance was interrupted fed into the growing narrative. Neymar was extraordinary, but fragile, brilliant, but never fully king. Still, he remained a spectacle, dazzling, adored, and undeniable. In Paris, Neymar ruled the domestic stage, built his legacy, and elevated the club's profile worldwide. Yet the crown he sought, the one he had chased since his youth in Brazil, remained just out of reach. Neymar's talent was never in question. He could dribble past anyone, score from impossible angles, and create moments of magic that left the world breathless. Yet, when the story turns to legacy, it's not about ability alone. It's about timing, choices, and circumstances beyond control. Injuries played a massive role, striking at the worst moments, forcing him to miss decisive Champions League games and critical World Cup matches. Every setback chipped away at the momentum needed to cement his status as the undisputed king. Then there was the shadow of others. Messi had already claimed his throne, and at PSG, Mbappé's meteoric rise began to steal the spotlight. Neymar's brilliance was never questioned, but it was measured against legends and peers in ways that often diminished his own narrative. Expectations from Brazil, from PSG, and from the football world piled up, creating pressure that few could withstand. Even moments of extraordinary play were often interrupted by misfortune. A mistimed tackle, a cruel injury, or a campaign that ended just short of glory. Beyond the physical and competitive challenges, Neymar's personality and choices sometimes worked against him. His style, flamboyant and artistic, could be misunderstood in tactical teams. He chased freedom and flair, sometimes at the cost of stability or discipline. The combination of his immense talent, injuries, timing, and the rise of other superstars meant that, despite being adored, despite dazzling millions, he never fully claimed the throne he had once seemed destined to occupy. In the end, Neymar remains one of football's most iconic figures, a prodigy who inspired generations, a genius on the pitch, and a global superstar. Yet the crown eluded him. He became the prince who never became king, brilliant, electrifying, adored, and yet, a reminder that talent alone doesn't guarantee ultimate glory.
Best skill.
Neymar.
That was quick.
Yes. When it comes to skills, it's not many better than Neymar.
The best player I ever play against, I think, is Neymar. For me, he's the complete player.
I mean, the way he plays, he likes to challenge everybody, and he doesn't like to challenge one. He likes to challenge all 11, if it's possible.
Were you surprised when Neymar left Barcelona for Paris Saint-Germain?
No, because I think he wants to be number one. And in Barcelona, as myself, when I was there, you cannot be number one if Messi is there.
The most talented rival player you've played against this season?
Honestly, I'd have to say Neymar in the first leg, in the first half. I was a bit starstruck at times, just some of the little flicks he was doing and things, but yeah, you know, I had to keep professional and And yeah, but I'd have to say Neymar is unbelievable what he does every game, and he decides a game on his own sometimes. Yeah, one of the best players in the world.
Neymar's journey is a story of brilliance, expectation, and the fragile nature of destiny. From the streets of Mogi das Cruzes to the grand stages of Europe, he lived a life most can only dream of. He thrilled millions, carried nations, and redefined what it meant to be a footballing artist. Yet, for all his talent and moments of genius, the ultimate throne eluded him. It wasn't for lack of ability. Neymar possessed the skill, vision, and creativity to rule football's world, but greatness is rarely determined by skill alone. Injuries struck at the worst times, timing wasn't always on his side, and the rise of peers like Mbappé shifted the spotlight. Pressure from clubs, countries, and the media weighed heavily, and moments of brilliance were sometimes overshadowed by circumstance. Even in victory, the crown he had chased since his youth seemed just out of reach. And yet the story isn't one of regret. Neymar remains one of the most influential, adored, and electrifying footballers of his generation. He inspired a new era of players to embrace creativity and individuality, and he reminded the world that football is as much about joy and expression as it is about trophies. The prince may never have become king, but his legend is undeniable, his name forever etched among the greats, and his story a testament to both the beauty and the cruelty of destiny in football. In the end, Neymar's tale teaches us that brilliance does not always equate to absolute glory, that talent can inspire even if it doesn't conquer all, and that sometimes being the prince, adored, electric, and unforgettable, is its own kind of legacy.